Maurice Glasman has always thrived on provocation. 14 years ago he was rebuked for suggesting that Britain should draw the line on immigration, even floating a ban on free movement from the European Union. He apologised, claiming he had overstated the position, and at the time Blue Labour, his curious mix of social conservatism and guild socialist economics, was dismissed as a fad. Today he's back, more influential than ever and pushing harder lines than before. What Glasman is proposing now is not simply migration control in the ordinary sense. He advocates for withdrawal from the European Convention on Human Rights, questioning even the Refugee Convention. He suggests militarising the Channel, deploying the Royal Navy, even drones, to intercept small boats, and he couches all this in the language of sovereignty, liberty and the dignity of labour, the dignity of the working person. And the intellectual trick is an inversion. Glasman claims that Britain has no need for external human rights protections because its own traditions of common law and liberty are superior. The implication is that international conventions are alien impositions. This was the same line used by Orban in Hungary and Putin in Russia. Sovereignty first, human rights second. Once you accept that framing, dismantling protections becomes a patriotic duty rather than an authoritarian slide. Why does this matter now? Because Glasman is no longer an eccentric backbencher with ideas too strong for the Fabian Review. He has the ear of Morgan McSweeney, Keir Starmer's chief of staff. He is networked into right-wing think tanks like Policy Exchange and into national movements like Steve Bannon's Nationalist International. He was the only Labour figure invited to Trump's second inauguration, where he lauded MAGA as the end of globalisation. When Glasman now insists that Labour must move onto the left side of the MAGA square, this is not parody, it is strategy. For Labour, the danger is twofold. First, Glasman is attempting to redefine the party's heritage. Instead of liberty, equality and solidarity, he wants to resurrect a vision of Labour as patriotic, border-guarding, anti-globalist, in effect, Reform UK with trade unions. Second, he is trying to bind Labour into a cross-class coalition built on fear of immigrants, just as the far right has done across Europe. The economic contradictions are glaring. Britain cannot deindustrialise without migrant labour. Closing universities to create vocational colleges may sound like respect for the dignity of work, but in reality it shrinks opportunity while ignoring the fact that Britain's NHS care system, construction and food supply depend on immigrant workers. Glasman dodges the obvious question: who will do the jobs that the British don't want to do? It's worth remembering that when Glasman first advanced these ideas in 2011 and then in 2017, they were rubbished by his own party. He admitted to mistakes and retreated. What has changed is not the substance of his thinking, but the political climate. With Reform UK surging, Glasman argues that Labour must seize the Farageite agendum before Farage himself claims it. This is a counsel of despair. It risks repeating the German and French mistakes, where social democratic flirtations with anti-migrant populism only strengthen the far right rather than neutralising it. So we have to ask, is Labour to be the party of Trump and Bannon or the party of Attlee and Beveridge? Attlee built the welfare state by embracing international conventions after the war, not by discarding them. The ECHR was drafted with British lawmakers at its core. And Glasman's rewriting of history that Britain never needed these protections is a dangerous myth. Those conventions have safeguarded workers, minorities and ordinary citizens against arbitrary power from the state for decades. In the end, Glasman's plan to get rid of migrants is less a policy than a politics of resentment. It offers the mirage of control while ignoring economic reality and moral respectability. Labour can address working class concerns on migration without indulging in fantasy, by investing in housing, training and services that ensure communities feel secure. To follow Glasman into the MAGA square is not renewal, it is surrender. Labour's choice is clear. It can stand as the party that defends the rights of workers and migrants alike, building solidarity in the face of division, or it can indulge the illusion that Britain can insulate itself from the modern world by retreating into a nationalist echo chamber. Glasman offers the latter. History, I suspect, will not be kind to it. No way.